Yo, what's going on, guys? Right now, we're hearing that there is going to be a lot of buyers and very few sellers in the expected 2024 NBA trade deadline. Yes, the report that we're hearing specifically is that people are going to be going out there trying to find pieces before the new cap restrictions are implemented with the new collective bargaining agreement as it goes into effect. Technically, like it goes the cap wise goes into effect this upcoming offseason. So the report is coming from Adrian Wojnarowski that with the NBA trade deadline not fully in full swing yet, but that the rumors are starting. Last year we saw big fishes like Durant, Kyrie, and others get moved. But on Threads, yes, Adrian Wojnarowski said on Threads that he anticipates a very heavy buyer market and very few sellers. Now, part of the is the play-in tournament, which has kept more teams trying to reach for the postseason instead of dropping into the lottery. And also, this upcoming draft class is very weak. Yes, very weak. So there's even less motion to trade a postseason berth versus a ping pong ball in this year's mediocre draft class. So there's going to be a lot of trades. Yes, there'll be some sellers, but there's going to be an asking price that's going to be high because there's a lot of bad teams that need to move assets and a lot of good to mediocre teams trying to get to that next level. And the Toronto Raptors are a team to watch due to the fact that they've become significant sellers at the deadline due to their impending free agencies of OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. But Wojnarowski reported that Toronto just isn't there yet on those decisions. Now, I think there's a lot of other teams that we can think of when it comes to the reports of who could be traded. I think for Miles Bridges, I think maybe Jeremy Grant. There's a lot of big fishes, so I want to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know what your thoughts on our reporting.
Shout out HoopsHyp for this, and they made a great video discussing the fact there are going to be certain players that will be traded due to the fact that they've fallen out of the rotation. And I thought they did a great job of doing a synopsis of this. So let's go through each team or each listing that they have and basically give a reaction of kind of like how likely I see this, what's the trade value for said player at this junction of the season and in their deal. There's so many different varying factors that could go into what their potential value is. So let's get into that, and I want to shout out Yossi Gonzalez for this information. Links in the description if you guys wanted to read the article. So first guy here is Bones Highland, and what they basically say, which we all knew, because Russell Westbrook's now the backup point guard. Now Bones Highland is basically the backup's backup, and he's an odd man out. So if they want to get max money on their dollar, they trade him at the deadline, the latest, because they probably can get some assets. But the whole problem with Bones Highland is people kind of aren't into the combo guards who are somewhat undersized and don't do much else besides provide scoring and a little bit of playmaking. So there's that. There's also, they say, hey, Bones might not be a guy that gets traded because they might just keep him, believe that he's part of the future, and get him on the cheap because he's not playing. They're able to re-sign him super cheap, unlike they would be able to if they were to go get somebody else. So Bones Highland through 9 games this season is averaging about 10.8 points, same as he was last year with the Clippers, 1.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, shooting 43.4% from the field. The next guy that they say could be traded on the Clippers is Amir Coffey, who is somebody that I'm surprised is actually still on this team. He's only played 7 games and he's playing 7 minutes a night, 1.7 points, a rebound, assist. He's probably, in my opinion, the most likely. I could see Bones and Amir being packaged for, let's say, who's somebody making like $7 million that they could go out and get. That's who they could probably go. So I'm not surprised there that they're saying that. Poku, they bring it up here. So Trey Mann's another guy they're saying. Trey Mann has another year on his deal, but Poku, dude, he had like three injuries. He had like humerus fracture. He had the ankle sprain. He was hurt all season or off season. And Poku at this point, I was surprised they didn't just straight up cut him at the end of training camp. Dude, the guy's averaging 1.2 points, 1.4 rebounds, and 1 assist, and 25% from the field. He's playing like 5 minutes a night. Nothing. All right. And he's probably going to be a deadline deal when they just discard him. They'll try to get a second round pick for him. I wouldn't be surprised if they package Trey Mann with him. Trey Mann, who's now in year 3, Poku's in year 4, restricted free agency. Trey Mann's played in 5 games, averaged 5 points, 56% from the field. Like I'd package Trey Mann and Poku and try to get a couple second round picks at that point. You're not going to get much at this point, but it's just these guys, the Thunder are good now. They can't take time. Poku's a Swiss Army knife. If I'm the Spurs, yeah, guys, yeah. If I'm the Spurs, I'm calling up. I'm saying like, hey guys, we're interested. I like the idea of Poku in San Antonio with all that length, and they'd give him a place where he can develop stress-free, I think. And it just seems inevitable that he goes. Monte Morris, when he got traded there as a Wizards fan, it didn't make sense to begin with. It didn't make sense. I was surprised a team like the Suns, the Heat, the Mavs, the Clippers, a lot of teams that the Bucks didn't go for Morris when all the trades were happening with the Wiz. And right here they say it best. Marcus Sasser, even Kelly Hayes is getting so many minutes. I expect Kelly Hayes is somebody to keep an eye out as well. But you got, even if we don't put Kelly, you got Sasser, Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham all in front getting minutes. And I don't think there's a road for Monte Morris to get minutes, just because it doesn't make sense, okay, as a franchise to like go for him. Because to me, I don't know. It's definitely my thoughts. If we're just looking at it like holistically, there's no reason that they should go out and get themselves, a guy that's never gonna be an impactful player for them. Okay, they have no interest in doing something like that. So for me, I think it's definitely funny when you see that on the whole. And I want to hear your guys' opinions down below. What do you guys see from this? Are you guys agreeing that a contending team should trade for Monte Morris? Makes no sense. James Wiseman, this one's sad. It was already a head-scratching affair. Marvin Bagley's playing. You have Jalen Duren. You have Beef Stew. And James Wiseman not playing. Again, another team, Spurs, I'd give him a shot. If I'm the Blazers, I'd give him a shot. If I'm... Who's another bad team this year? Utah. But they're kind of figured out there. I think the Blazers are a good spot, especially with Robert Williams being out. I mean, if I'm a contending team, I maybe give him a shot. Like, if you're Boston and you go, here's Luke Cornett, we'll take on James Wiseman. That's a possibility. And James just not getting any minutes. He's not getting any run. So for me, when I see all this, I just see a kid that's just not fair, in terms of the opportunities that they've been just, they haven't given them anything that's worthy of him worthy of people wanting to trade. Like, I don't even know at this point. You might have to, like, if I'm the Pistons, I don't know what I'm trading him for. Like, there is no value. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there is no value. And yeah, I can't come up with something that you trade for him. It just doesn't seem feasible. So he might just get waived. John Conchar, he's a great rebounder, and I'm surprised they're not playing him more, especially with all the injuries. But with Marcus Smart, John Morant, Luke Kennard all coming back to the lineup, he is kind of an oddest man's out. Great basketball player, but odd man out. Bol, he ended last year absolutely terribly, and it makes sense that right here that Bol just, would be traded. These two, they're just, I don't understand John Conchar, why they're not playing him, especially with all the injuries that they have. They're just like, hey, we're just not going to play you. Bol, just, he's not good. And especially with Drew Eubanks missing time, the Suns are realizing that their 9 to 10 man rotation's good, and that Bol's not a part of that. Now, Lonzo Ball is the last one, and I'm just going to read this one word for word right here, guys. It goes without saying, the Ball would be playing for the Bulls if he were healthy. He's not expected to play this season, but it might not matter if the Bulls end up blowing the roster. As we get closer to the end of Ball's contract in 24 to 25, it's easier for the Bulls to trade him then. They've already off to a terrible start, and Zach LaVine could get traded. If that happens, that would escalate trades for DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso. This could lead to cost-saving moves that would be trading Lonzo Ball. So let me hear your thoughts down below. That's it.